episode 7 of Travel Talk. That's that many episodes plus that many episodes. I know I'm swearing at you, but I mean like that. So 7 episodes. It's a lot of episodes. Today we're going into Charleston. Last episode we were leaving Myrtle Beach. We'd been in Myrtle Beach a couple of days. Had enough of it there. So we jumped back in the car and drove south to Charleston. We'd be staying just outside Charleston, ignore the cat. And it'd take about 10 minutes for us to get to the centre of this town from where we were staying, which was pretty good, considering we had the car, so it's pretty easy. So yeah, we left Myrtle Beach probably about 11:30 sort of time, and it took us a couple of hours to get to Charleston. We were there by about 1:30. We'd be staying in a Red Roof Inn, which is a motel chain in America. It was a nice enough room, It was an interesting stay though, and you'll learn about that as we get along. It's fun times, gunshots and everything. So we got there about lunchtime, as I say. We went to a place called Melvin's Legendary Barbecue for lunch. Now, would it be legendary? Would Melvin live up to his hype? Well, Melvin did live up to his hype, bless him, because it was a good lunch. We paid $10, and I think we had, I remember having an onion ring the size of a headband, so that was pretty cool. And we had a good lunch there. Headed back to the motel and just kind of relaxed by the pool for the rest of the day. The sun was out. It was warmer in Charleston than it had been in Myrtle Beach, so we made the most of the sunshine. And just sat by the pool. I think I watched an FA Cup game between Man United and Arsenal by the pool in Charleston, South Carolina. See, I know how to live. So we did that. Sat by the pool. I think in the evening we grabbed some food from a supermarket down the road, and just planned out the next day. Basically, we were only going to have one full day in Charleston itself, so we wanted to make sure we got everything done and did everything we wanted to. So we did a lot of planning that night. Had a fairly early night, so we could get up early the next day and explore. So the next day came along. It was a lovely sunny day. Luckily for us, being our only day there, it was a beautiful sunny day. We jumped in the car, I think about 9 o'clock sort of time, after having some breakfast. And drove into Charleston itself, found a reasonably priced car park, and began our little adventure. So we got into Charleston, and the first thing we really wanted to do, and that we'd seen on the internet that people had recommended, was doing a horse-drawn carriage ride through the town, a guided one. And I think there was about 12, 14 people maybe on our tour, and the tour guide was really good. He was only about 20. He'd moved to Charleston to go to university to study music, and he was very knowledgeable. He knew what he was going on about, which was good. And I think it took about an hour and a half, I think, overall. It was really interesting. You can walk around places sometimes and you can look at buildings, and they're pretty buildings or they've got a lot of history, but you don't necessarily know the stories behind them. So it was nice to go on this with someone who knew what they were going on about, because you learnt a lot more about it. So that was cool. Got to ride behind a horsey. God bless horses. And that took an hour and a half. That was really good. We paid $22 each, and it's just one of those things you do when you're a tourist. You want to travel around the little towns and learn about their culture and everything. It was really good, After that, we went and had some lunch. Now, this is the best lunch of all time. We went to the Bubba Gump Shrimp Factory. Now, I know there's ones in England, and I know there's ones in Florida and places like that. But to go to one in Charleston, a little country town, was amazing. If you don't know, Bubba Gump Shrimp Company is based off of the film Forrest Gump. It's the shrimp company that Forrest makes with Bubba. And they built the entire restaurant after the theme of that film. So you get signs on the table saying "Run, Forrest, run" if everything's fine at your table. If you want some assistance, you put "Stop, Forrest, stop" down. You've got ping pong bats, because obviously in film Forrest Gump played ping pong, and there's ping pong bats with menus on them. There's little screens everywhere playing the actual film. There was a guy that worked there doing trivia questions with people. I say, hey, it was really, really in depth, and it was really interesting. And the food was great as well. We had chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy with a large side of corn. And the drinks were really good as well. They were like non-alcoholic cocktails, and you get them all different flavours, and yeah, it was really good. Admittedly, I didn't even realise it existed before then. But now that I know it exists, I see it everywhere. But before, I just wouldn't have noticed it. But yeah, it's such a good restaurant. If you haven't been there, go to one. There's ones in like major cities everywhere now. So yeah, just get yourself to a Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. Pretty damn cool, not gonna lie. So yeah, we had lunch, most enjoyable lunch of all time possibly, and then we decided to maybe walk some of the food off, walk down to the waterfront, which is probably about a mile away. Walked through the town again, through the little scenic houses, and looked at the ones that we'd just been past on the horsey ride. Horsey ride, woo! And yeah, we got to the waterfront, took some photos, as you do, touristy things. And as we were walking back down a different road, we walked past a place called the Calhoun Mansion, which, to put it in perspective, is a 4-storey house. I think it's owned currently by a Washington lawyer, or it was previously. And yeah, imagine Buckingham Palace on steroids. That's what this looked like, Buckingham Palace on steroids. It was a hell of a place, put it that way. It was paintings everywhere, gold statues, things made out of ivory, and anything expensive basically was in there. You couldn't touch, you couldn't take photos. You got guided around by a man in a suit with a gun, which was slightly concerning because, I'm not really going to carry an ivory statue out the door, but, apparently he thought I was. So yeah, that took about half an hour. That was pretty interesting. I think that cost like $15 or something. It's amazing how the other half live, put it that way. Because people still live there, which is a miracle in itself. It's amazing to think that people live in this house. It was like living in the 19th century. But, obviously someone's taste, and I can't criticise that. I wouldn't live there, but I can't criticise it. So yeah, that was interesting. But that was basically all we did in Charleston, to be honest. We couldn't really find much else that we wanted to do during our day there. And so I think we jumped back in the car and just headed back to the motel. Now this is where it gets interesting. When we got back to the motel, we went out and had some dinner again. I can't remember where we had dinner, but that's not the important part. On the walk back to the motel, we heard 4 loud bangs, which sounded like gunshots. Now, initially, we did think it was gunshots. I'm not going to lie. We were by a busy highway, and there were shops at either side, restaurants either side. We thought it was gunshots. So we were like, oh dear, this could be awkward. We then got back to the motel and had no electricity. Then we realised that the loud bangs that we'd heard was that there was a big electricity box outside the hotel, and it was only about probably 40 feet away from our room. Apparently that had exploded, and yeah, we had no electricity that night, which was awkward. I'm not going to lie about it. It was very awkward, but it was fun. So yeah, basically we didn't do much that night. Obviously, having no electricity stopped us from booking much, or researching what we were doing next. I mean, we'd already booked. Basically, to put it in perspective, the next episode I'll be talking about, we drove back to Wilmington and then got the bus the next day on to, I think we went straight, did we go to Orlando? Yeah, we went to Orlando next. And so yeah, that'll be the next episode. And so, but we'd already planned where we were staying in Orlando and paid for it all, so that was fine. But it was a case of we were trying to plan a little bit further on, like we were going to go to Jacksonville or Tallahassee. And we couldn't do that because we had no electricity and no Wi-Fi. So we were like, that's a bit annoying, but these things happen. Well, it didn't really dampen the mood or anything, so luckily it wasn't gunshots, that's the important thing. And yeah, it was just lucky we were leaving the next day, in all honesty, because by the sound of it, didn't have electricity for a while. The Red Roof Inn were actually supposed to compensate us for some money, so we're still waiting for that a year after. So, just bear that in mind. Don't stay with the Red Roof Inn because they're terrible. But yeah, that's probably where I'm going to leave this episode. Like I say, next one will be driving the car back to Wilmington and probably also getting the bus the next day to Orlando. And that is where the fun starts, because we get Universal Studios, get to go shopping. I love shopping. Get to go shopping. We did a hell of a lot. And then, like I say, we went on to Jacksonville, Tallahassee. So Florida's going to be a really interesting couple of episodes. But I'll leave this one here. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Like I say, just keep subscribing, more content will come. I'm trying to keep to a schedule, but I'm not, let's be honest. When they come, they come. When they don't, they don't. Just got to bear with me. But yeah, I'll probably catch you in the next video. See you later.